on, guys? It's TY. I'm here alone. Oh man, I'm here alone. I kind of mistimed it with Austin. Thank you for showing up though. Oh, by the way, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the stream so your friends, family, and enemies can watch along with us. Make fun of me, make fun of Austin, make fun of Big Drip or Jack or that Justice calls himself Big Drip, whatever. Um, but I found myself watching a stream the other night, and it included Poindexter Lounge and Geeks and Gamers. Now, I am not someone who really knew what Geeks and Gamers was. I'm not someone who like is a fan of that content. But I do know who Poindexter Lounge is, and Enosh is a good guy. I really enjoy listening to Enosh's points and watching his videos when I can. And I do find him interesting, and I'm very happy for his channel. Um, but that being said, so I watched this video, and I'm not trying to. I think some people ask me like, oh, why do you want to get involved? I don't, but I did find myself asking some questions. Um, what's up, Ambassadorial Wingman? Congratulations on 400 subscribers. I'm so happy for you, dude. I'm so happy for you. I really am. Uh, congratulations. But so the stream had me asking some philosophical questions to myself, and because Geeks and Gamers is Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, a very right wing kind of person. Um, Whereas I believe Enosh, I don't really know his political affiliation. I don't think that means anything. I don't think it's relevant. I just think that he wanted to not call out Jeremy, but he wanted to ask him the questions that maybe people don't ask Jeremy all the time, and I respect that. I really do. If Enosh ever, uh, you know, watched it or wanted to ask me why I did this, I don't think that you're in the wrong for asking the questions to Jeremy, because I don't think I've seen. I went through. I tried to find if anyone had confronted him that kind of like that, and I even asked myself questions, like I said, about where do I stand, where would I stand, would I ask the same questions, or would I go about that the same way. And I found myself agreeing with Enosh most of the time, but then there was one point where Enosh asks Geeks and Gamers like to change, not to change his content, but like almost like lay off or something like that. And then it sparked a debate. I do want to watch a little bit of the episode, just maybe a couple minutes, so that we can kind of at least get a feel for how it went. Because, like I said, I think it's important. The questions that they were asking each other, or the debate that they were having amongst each other, is important. It's an important they're important questions, or it's a healthy way to do it. I don't think they were like evil towards each other. I don't think they left that stream hating each other, but I do like how they went about it. And I do like that they instead of just talking about one another, maybe like this one talking on the Poindexter Lounge about this one, and this one talking on about Enosh on Geeks and Gamers. Instead, they had a discussion about it, and I find that to be a really healthy thing to do. I find that to be really, really healthy, and I found the stream to be very enlightening. Not enlightening as like it made me a better person, but it made it like sparked that inner like journalist in me, and not in a bad way either. Like, it was like, wow, these are some good points from both sides. I can see where both of them are coming from. I can see why Enosh feels this way. I can see why Jeremy feels this way. And I thought that was a really healthy thing to do. Not really a fan of like how some of the people in the comments were treating Jeremy, or talking about Jeremy. I don't think that that's cool. But then again, like, you can't. It's not Enosh can't help that. So he did his best, and I think he did a really good job. So I did want to take a look at a little bit of the interview, and one of the parts that really sparked it for me, or piqued my interest more than usual. So let's do that. Here we go. All right. Nope. Than usual. That is not the right thing. So that is my own. That is not right. Oh, because it says Geeks and Gamers in the headline. Oh, that's so terrible. Wow. Okay, so that's my own show because it had Geeks and Gamers in the. Wow, what an idiot I am. All right, try number 2. All right, so so and these are some of the so these are some of the thumbnail. So these are some of the thumbnails that Jeremy makes, and he always has Kathleen Kennedy with these like laser eyes, and I find, okay, it's funny, but it's not funny at the same time because Kathleen Kennedy is an actual person, and I thought Enosh is correct in saying that Geeks and Gamers had pointed not changed the perspective on the way people feel about Kathleen Kennedy, but some people don't know who she is, and they automatically hate her because of the way. I mean, look at this: 44,000 views, right? 44,000 people have watched Jeremy's video, and maybe 10%, even if 10% didn't know who Kathleen Kennedy is or was, now they look at her like she's this devil. So I see where he's coming from, but I also see what Jeremy says is like, it's like my opinion. You can't make me change my opinion. And I do agree with him on that because I don't think we should limit people's speech. I don't think that the Gina Carano thing, I'm not really on the right side of this. I do think what she said was terrible and should not be said. When you're on a pedestal like where she is, I don't think you should just say things like she did. But then again, do I think she should have been fired from Disney? I don't know. That's a different story. It is a private company. They do have the right to do that. But is that the world that we should be living in? I'm not sure. So let's take a look a little bit of the video, and then we'll talk about it after. Okay, I'll hit play.
Cross Jeremy as, hey, I just have a problem with this or this or this. But when you have literally a whole gang of people and a whole like system of different channels that work together and are associated together, literally just putting out crazy content about like, ooh, you're not even saying what you just said there. Okay, what you just said there, that I have a problem with this, and this, but but like literally watching videos, it's like, oh, she's on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel. Oh, it's so crazy. We helped her YouTube channel. We did this. And I get it. You're trying to be comical and you're playing up to your fan base. Sure. But at the same time, you're cutting the legs off of your argument because you're making a joke of your own content, of your own reason for having a problem with her, instead of addressing that problem and zeroing down on that problem and saying, this is what we have an issue with. It cartoonizes it. It makes it something that it's not, and then it blows up, and then you look really petty because then you look like you guys had a problem with the fact that Brie Larson comes to YouTube. You're not actually drawing attention to the problem that you have or what you deem as her issue.
By the way,
you're drawing this attention really to yourselves and just being comical.
So Poindexter Lounge commented on this video, like my stream earlier. So I responded with this because the title of my video is Geeks and Gamers versus Poindexter Lounge, left versus right, fan versus fanatic. Those are 3 separate things, right? And he was like, I think he responded with, who's supposed to represent the left? And I think he did it in like a clearly me, like but that's not what I meant. And I apologize if that's how it sounded, but it's 3 separate topics, and it led me down this discussion with myself. Geeks and Gamers versus Poindexter Lounge, right? And I'm saying that in a nice way. Like it's not like you guys are actually like fist fighting here. But then it brought up the like left versus right topic in my head, and then the fan versus fanatic topic in my head. So that's why I used it like that. I wasn't inferring that Poindexter Lounge is the left and Geeks and Gamers is the right, even though Geeks and Gamers is the right, definitely, or at least Jeremy is. So I'm sorry if there's any confusion on that part. But here we go back.
With her, I mean, like, and like I said, even with Kathleen Kennedy, like, do I think that woman is the perfect person for Star Wars necessarily? No, at this point, I feel like she probably should step down and move on because everybody's so frustrated. Like nobody's going to have any peace. And then my fear is the next person is going to be somebody that people like go off even more. But like literally when instead of just saying, I don't like what this is, right? I don't like what Kathleen Kennedy has done or what I perceive Kathleen Kennedy to have done with this franchise that I love. Now it's like I said, every single thing is like red eyes and laser eyes and these over the top things, instead of just dialing down and saying, hey, this is what we don't like.
I guess the question is, why should I dial down any of my content? I mean, why is the question I have for you? Why?
I'm not telling you how to do your content,
but you are. But you're criticizing it and saying you shouldn't be doing this, and I'm asking why.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. I'll tell you why. Because I'm not telling you that necessarily at the root of what you're saying is all necessarily wrong. What I'm telling you is that it makes it really hard for anybody else who has an issue with those same things to say anything after it's been made comic relief of, and it literally is like an over-the-top show of like, nobody can literally call Brie Larson on anything anymore without making it look like we're just part of some crazy group of people who hate Brie Larson. Like if we literally had a problem with Brie Larson, nobody would take it seriously because it's just tossed to, well, you know, you're just part of the same group of people who just don't like Brie Larson because you just don't like Brie Larson.
All right. So, and he's got a point. So they both, and this is what I wanted to talk about. So, and then this is what sparked the conversation in my head personally about, the Poindexter Lounge versus Geeks and Gamers, right versus left, and fan versus Fanatic, right? So for anyone who doesn't know, Geeks and Gamers, yes, they are a channel that like reviews like movies, I suppose. So here's the thing with Geeks and Gamers. I don't know if they actually review movies because I see him do it sometimes, but it seems like it's more political in the sense that he doesn't like Hollywood. He doesn't enjoy the identity politics and the, what is that other thing? It's like social justice warriors and stuff like that. Whereas he doesn't like that and he speaks out on it. Whereas Enosh is very much a come here, let's talk about movies, let's talk about TV, and let's talk about the things we love. It's a very inviting environment, and he loves to bring people on, his friends, and have discussions about where things should go, what they think is the best route. And he's really passionate about Star Wars. And I think that's what the root of this is, right? The Star Wars stuff. Because yes, Jeremy always paints out Kathleen Kennedy as this monster, but it is his opinion. It is. And I feel like Enosh is what he's basically saying here is you need to stop. And I don't think he's necessarily wrong, but I don't think that, because what Jeremy is basically saying back is like, well, basically you're telling me to limit or to not speak of how I think. And Enosh says, okay, you got a point there. But next time that something really happens, next time something bad or actual criticism needs to come to Kathleen Kennedy or Brie Larson, it just gets thrown in a bubble with, this crazy story that you've made up about these people. And he's got a point, but then again, so here's the dilemma is, should we be able to tell someone that they can't do these things? And that's the debate. It's not, Geeks and Gamers versus Poindexter Lounge. It's not left versus right, and it's not fan versus Fanatic, but it is, should we be able to limit what someone does on their show or on their channel? Like, is Jeremy responsible for the way people view Kathleen Kennedy? I don't think so. I don't think that is a fair thing to say because, yes, he has a good, there's like 300,000 subscribers to that channel. He gets 400,000 views per video. I know I'm only 7 months old and I really, I don't have a stick in the fight. I don't have anything like that, but I do think talking about it is pretty healthy. And like they did, I just want to, talk about how I felt when I watched this is one of the first YouTube videos. One of the first videos of, this is one of the first times that I watched a full, besides Lightcast, which is actually pretty funny, this is probably the first time I've ever watched a full 4-hour stream of somebody that I don't, subscribe to. I mean, I subscribe to Lightcast, but you know what I mean? So this posed so many questions in my head, and I thought it was really healthy, the discussion that they had. But should we be able to limit what someone says on their channel and basically say to them, look, you've painted Kathleen Kennedy as this devil monster creature, and you're responsible for the way that people see her as a person. No, I don't think that's the case. I don't think you should. I don't think that that was right, or Jeremy should change his channel because based on that. I don't think that you should be able to do that. But Jeremy does take it way too far, right? Jeremy goes over the top. Anytime he has a problem with someone, there's always laser eyes, like Superman eyes on the person, and then he's got this like thumbs down thumbnail where he's like kind of not making fun of them, but like, don't watch that, right? So I think Jeremy, but there's a reason he's so successful, right? Because there are people in the world that agree with him. So it like I said, it brings up this discussion in my head. It's like, who's right? Who's wrong? Is there a right? Is there a wrong? What's like, is it morality versus not morality? Is it a question to begin with? Is it something we can control? Is it not something we can control? And I thought that, to see them talk about it themselves, confront each other, I thought was very healthy, and I'm glad that they did it. I am. But the Geeks and Gamers channel is so Zack Snyder had the issues with Geeks and Gamers, where he kind of not labeled. I think he didn't really know what to say about them, but there was like a charity thing going on, and Zack Snyder was a part of it. Geeks and Gamers was a part of it, but they didn't want to say that Geeks and Gamers was a part of it because they are viewed as like really like right wing, conservative people. Or Jeremy's a not a confrontational people, confrontational person, but he's someone that sparks controversy, right? And that went down a dark path because that was going to happen the same night as the premiere of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and they raised a lot of money for suicide prevention that night. I think it was somewhere over $10,000 or $50,000. I don't remember what the exact number was, but there was a lot of money raised, and it was by the Geeks and Gamers fandom, like the community behind it. So Warner Brothers basically said, like, listen, we can't be a part of that. Like, the Geeks and Gamers like logo needs to come off the thumbnail. We can't be in association with them. And like that sparked Jeremy. Jeremy loves that, right? Because he's like anti-Hollywood, hates the elite Hollywood people. So it really gave him like this ammunition almost, right? And now not only is he having conversations on the phone with Zack Snyder, but there's controversy surrounding it. And that gave him all he needed to keep growing the views. And that's what he does, right? So I don't think that he's in the same category as Enosh, right? I don't think, like, Enosh is a very pure movie reviewer, TV reviewer, like content reviewer, like, and he does a good job of it. Jeremy is not that person. He does what he does, and he's successful at it. And I don't think he should be asked to change his content for anybody. He's been successful with his brand. He's been successful with what he does. Clearly, there's 300,000 subscribers, 60,000 views on a video that's labeled woke Hollywood done. Time to focus on the actual fans. What's the other one there? Use common sense. See, I'm not the person that should be talking about this, but like, because I can laugh at it. But one of them's here. What is Lucasfilm employees are still blaming men for everything, and it has 55,000 views. Like, clearly he has an audience, and Enosh is growing himself, and like people like Enosh for what Enosh does. I don't even think they should be talking to each other because I don't think they're on the same playing field at all. Like, right? Like Jeremy's just a different breed than Enosh. Enosh is a preacher in real life. Enosh is like, a good person. Whereas Jeremy like very much runs the algorithms and knows what his audience wants to hear. And that's not a bad thing. And there was at one point where Jeremy gets Enosh pretty good. He backs him into a corner, man. Not backs him into a corner, but like Enosh is talking about how Jeremy runs the algorithms. And then later on in the conversation, or Jeremy asks Enosh, like, okay, so like, what is your channel about? And he's like, oh, Enosh says like, oh, my channel is about being who you are and being individual. And like, it goes somewhere, but then all of a sudden, Jeremy's like, well, I didn't know that you had to strategize being who you are. And like, basically like, that again, that was way like I can't explain it the way it was said there, but basically it Enosh says like basically he ran the algorithms or runs the algorithms the same way, and like Jeremy comes back and I'm like, oh, I thought you were just being who you were. Like I didn't know you had to strategize that to play the algorithm game, to get views and get subscribers. And it was, like Jeremy made some great points, but Enosh I think comes out on top here because he's right. Like he's right in the most of the way, right? He's right in most of what he's saying is like, you're just mad and you're making this content about your views and basically your audience now sees Kathleen Kennedy, Brie Larson, and these other people as like these monsters because you paint them the picture that they are monsters, and you talk about woke Hollywood and social justice warriors and all these like these really political things. And does that really have a place in talking about or a show that's called Geeks and Gamers? Like but is it really Geeks and Gamers, or is it like politics is what you're talking about? Because I don't know. Like, and that's the thing is Jeremy likes Star Wars, but like it's always about like a political agenda. And that's where I'm kind of confused. Like, what is Geeks and Gamers at the end of the day? Jeremy says it's about individuals. And I definitely, yeah, sure. I'm sure it is. Like, I'm sure, I'm sure you get a great team. You got a very diverse group of people that are working for you or that are helping you. But isn't the stuff that you're talking about more like political than geek stuff and gamer stuff? Yeah, like maybe the topic is Disney. Maybe the topic is hate speech or Brie Larson, like something that she said about men, or Kathleen Kennedy, how she's ruining like the Star Wars franchise because she was infiltrating it from the inside or something. I think that's what they believe or something. Is that really Geeks and Gamers? Like I don't like for instance, Enosh talks about geek stuff and it's never really had a political background to it. And I find that those channels are the ones that like, are the ones people should go to for maybe the Justice League review or A Quiet Place 2 review or whatever it may, Pocahontas review. Whereas what are you going to go to Geeks and Gamers to watch? You're going to go and watch someone that gets mad and tells you that woke Hollywood is done. Time to focus on actual fans, right? Like there's a difference in content. And I don't think that Enosh should be saying to Jeremy, like, you need to stop doing what you're doing, because I don't think that's, once we limit speech or once we limit what someone can and can't do or what someone can, should and shouldn't do, rarely do we get that power back, right? And that's my problem with the Gina Carano stuff is, once we limit, and this goes for everything. Like, I don't think Gina Carano should have said what she said. But again, like once we limit what can be said, we rarely get that power back. And the line is going to keep getting pushed. Like the line in the sand will just keep getting erased and pushed further back. Next thing you know, you won't be able to say, you won't be able to say anything about anybody, or you won't be able to express any opinions on Twitter or Facebook or whatever without automatically getting banned or taken down or deplatformed because it might be construed as hate speech or and there's something that Jeremy said in this that I do think that he's correct. he said that sexism and racism, or I think it was racism, or it was sexism and something else. It might have been racism, but that they aren't actually things anymore. They are just if you feel differently about, if say you and I differ in opinions, that's labeled as sexism or racism now. And I'm kind of not totally agreeing with that, but I do think that people take it way too far now. Is like, whereas if you don't agree with them, then you are labeled someone that is hating them or something. And I do think we have to be careful about that, and be more diligent about making sure that the people understand what sexism actually is. Jeremy asked Enosh, "Do you think I'm a sexist?" Enosh said, and then but he said it's a yes or no question answer. There's no explaining your answer. And Enosh said, then yes, I do think you're a sexist. So I think it's for each person to make their decision. Like you need to go watch Jeremy, his videos, and you need to decide for yourself, is he a sexist? Because I don't know. I can't say that he is. I don't know. I know he talks badly about Kathleen Kennedy or doesn't like her. I know he talks badly about Brie Larson because he doesn't like her. But he says that he needs to bring these things up because no one else is. So if he thinks he's doing the right thing, then who are we to say he's? Because for instance, Al Qaeda and like ISIS, they think they're the good guys, right? They think they're the heroes of their stories. So Jeremy might think he's the good guy in the situation, and for all we know, he is. Who knows? Like, who's to say what is right or wrong in politics, right? If you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, I don't think anyone's more right than each other. I think I agree with one side over the other, and you may agree with the other side over the other. But who's to say what's right or wrong in that situation is, see, once we start labeling one side right, and that's what the questions I started asking myself watching this was isn't the right or wrong here between these two people isn't subjective or objective. I never know which one's the correct way, which one's the correct one to say. But if I liked Geeks and Gamers and I didn't like Enosh, then I would say Jeremy's correct. But if I liked Enosh and I didn't like Geeks and Gamers' point of views, then I would say Enosh is right. So it really is all on where you stand and what side you come from. Because a lot of people agree with Jeremy. A lot of people agree with Enosh. And it's up to you to make that decision. I think that if you don't agree with Jeremy, then you just simply don't watch his content. If you don't agree with Enosh, then you simply just don't watch his content. I don't think that one should necessarily say to the other that, you should rein it in, or you should pull it back, or you should stop doing what you're doing. Clearly that, it's not for us to say what I can't say what Lightcast can put on their channel. And they can't tell me what I can put on my channel. Right. And that's the agreement that we've made to, in this game is, you do you, I do me, and hopefully we can all be successful. And I think that's what the great thing about these platforms nowadays is everyone is given an opportunity, a fair opportunity to be successful in what you feel is your opinions and your where you stand on things. Whereas maybe 20 years ago, not everyone did get a platform to speak on, or was given a platform to speak on about the way they believe, unless it was, you were an actor, or a politician, or someone who ran the world because you struck oil in your backyard, yeehaw, and that kind of stuff. Whereas now everyone, that's another thing is the issue that I have with the world that we live in now is everyone is online. So all these issues are, coming to a head online, whereas, people are finally getting to speak their minds about things, and that's going to cause controversy, and that's going to cause issues amongst people. And I think that, I think we as a society need to do a better job at, not just because you don't like what someone else says doesn't mean they need to stop, that you can tell them to stop. Because if we lived in that kind of world, I think that's called something. It's like dictatorship or something like that. I don't know if it's a dictatorship, but like it's like communism, right? I think is the word, or the agenda stuff. Not the agenda. I'm not good at this stuff. I really am not. I think the cancel culture and what it has done to people is really interesting, because now if say I don't agree with you, well then I'm going to mark it to cancel you. Should we be able to do that? I don't think so. I don't think that's right. Like if I think Brie Larson said something stupid about 40-year-old white guys, should I be able to cancel her over it? I don't think so. If I don't agree with Lightcast about something, I'm not going to start a hashtag to cancel them, right? If I don't agree with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, I'm not going to try to get him canceled, right? Not that I could, but that's a different story entirely. But I think cancel culture is really dangerous. I really do. And to be frank, I think it's gone too far already, and I think that we need to do a better part in society, as members of society, as to know when to like say no. Like, no, you can't do that. Like, you can't cancel this person for something they said 10 years ago when it was more than okay and no one came at them 10 years ago. Like the Kevin Hart thing, when he made the joke about the dollhouse. Like, if people didn't get outraged when he said it at that time, you can't come back 10 years later when now it is an issue and he knew that it would be an issue if he said it now, and cancel him because of that. It's really dangerous, and it scares me. And it scares me for the children that I bring into this world. Like, what kind of world am I like putting kids into? Like, where they can't have a right to an opinion because they're afraid to have their own thoughts, because it might be portrayed as by someone else as the wrong thoughts. And then, the dominoes start falling. And that's a very dangerous thing. Speech and Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, all these platforms. Yes, they're private platforms. They're privately owned, right? But they're almost becoming like first the freedom of speech, where everyone has the right to them originally. Like, everyone has the right to sign up for Facebook and Twitter until you say something wrong or something that someone doesn't agree with, and then you're banned. Like, if you say something, if you were to call Caitlyn Jenner by her original name on Twitter, you're deplatformed automatically. And Joe Rogan has talked about it several times. Several times Joe Rogan has talked about how that's really dangerous. Like, I think it's called dead naming. Is when you, so if I were to call Caitlyn by the other name on Twitter, I wouldn't get to defend myself. I wouldn't get to object to it. I wouldn't get to explain myself. Automatically, you're deplatformed and you're banned from Twitter. What the fuck? What the fuck? What do you mean? That's crazy. That's crazy. You're acting like that's not real. Like she was never the other name. You're acting like that never existed. That's fucking crazy to me. That's absolutely asinine. And there's so many other things. Yeah, Trump got banned from Twitter. Right. Dude probably deserved it. He's an absolute animal and out of his mind, and he should not be in charge of a country, let alone a family. But do I think that he should be banned? Because you can potentially, yes, yeah, he incited riots at the Capitol, but is he directly responsible for the way that people respond to what he says? I don't know, because I'm a moron. You shouldn't take advice from me about that. I'm not a politician, and I'm not someone who's in charge, but I do have these thoughts, and I do have my opinions, and I should be allowed to speak them, right? Or at least that's the way I feel. I'd be interested to know how some of you think. So I'm going to read some of these. Oh, Lightcast is learning some new things here. That's very interesting. Yes, that's the point. I should be joined by Austin soon. This pissed off Pignor and Fatal J. Right. Fatal J is aggravated about Enosh. Enosh did have a couple videos that I did see that did make me wonder, but I did delete my answers or my comments because, you know, I watched the videos, and that's the thing, is I'm a person. I make mistakes. So when I watch the videos, all of a sudden I started thinking these things, right, that maybe I shouldn't have. And I said maybe something that I shouldn't have. But I deleted it. And I hope it goes away because I didn't necessarily want to be involved in any drama. However, if I'm tied to that drama, I have to own it because I did say the thing I said, right? And I need to be accountable for what I say in certain ways, right? You know, and I'll stand by what I say, but I should be able to explain myself, or maybe the way I was thinking. This is the way I was thinking. I was shown a video of Enosh basically saying that, you know, he's the leader of the Snyder Cut, or one of the leaders of the Snyder Cut. And then the next video that I saw, he was not shit talking Zack Snyder, but like telling Zack Snyder to stop talking. However, I don't know what the context of the video was, so I maybe should have done a little bit better of a job of vetting it and going in to look further and seeing what the video was from and how it unfolded. That's my fault that I didn't do that, and I apologize to Enosh for not doing that. And then the next video I saw was a video where he's praising Justice League 2017. So the way it came off to me was just different. It's not something I'm proud of. Not the way I reacted, that's for sure. But that's the way I saw it, and that's the way I spoke on it. And I was wrong, and I'm sorry. Do I still feel certain ways? Yes. I don't think, you know, I don't like it, but it's still the way I think. So let's see here. To be candid, I think the whole thing was a wash. Nothing was really gained or accomplished. So far for me, it was an even split. Myself, I'm just going to keep on chugging along and do my thing. I don't do drama online, create or engage either way. I know drama can get you clicks, but I have enough going on outside of YouTube. I agree. And I'm not, I hope no one thinks Geeks and Gamers is a hate channel. Okay. Blakehouse, you've never heard of Geeks and Gamers? I haven't either, to be honest, before the other day, which I found interesting because if, you know, they're pretty big. And the first time I heard of them was with the Zack Snyder stuff. And I didn't know why this things started happening where Zack pretty much denounced them. I didn't really know who he was talking about. And I didn't even look into it. And then I started looking further and I was like, oh, I can kind of see. But Jeremy basically said, like, listen, I told him up front that I was controversial and I don't like his movies. So then again, like, you know, I don't know what to think. But I am going to play a little bit more of this because there's another thing that I wanted to see.
Because nobody ever talks about why you don't like Brie Larson, or actually gets to she said this or did this or did this.
I have, though.
And
I've talked about all those specifics.
Okay, but how long are you going to draw out content?
I mean, I haven't made a Brie Larson video in months. So, I mean, when she says something stupid, I'll talk about it if I feel like it. I mean, it really just comes down to what I feel like talking about. Look
at all the fucking thumbnails,
a couple things here. So number one, there's things that interest me for reasons and there's things that don't.
See, there's the
Amber Heard, for instance, is something that literally grew YouTube channels. I don't think I've ever, if maybe one or two Amber Heard videos are on the channel. I don't care about the story because I can agree. Yeah, I think
you
it's
don't want to know if that was her or the dog that did that.
No, I don't care. Like, I just don't care for any various reasons why. But like Brie Larson, the things she said, I felt were a really big problem that was affecting how the culture of Hollywood views fans. So there's a bigger thing. And then the way that the media treats Brie Larson, it becomes a snowball effect. So then I see the media overly praising Brie Larson. So then I'm going to go make videos, not only calling Brie, but calling out the media, then calling. So it's just a snowball effect. Now, backing up to your point about like why I should stop doing things, you're both, because I'll listen to both of you, you're both canceling out your own argument. Because on one hand, you say Jeremy is this influential person and he's got all of this influence, but then on the other hand, you say, but Jeremy should stop doing these things because how people view him. Well, the things that I've been doing are how I am the influential person you claim I am. So why would I stop doing the things that have made me, in your eyes, this influential person? If it's working for me to make me so powerful and influential, why would I stop doing it?
But influential.
Okay. So the next part these are where the questions so this is where I start asking myself the questions. And yes, thank you, Ambassador Oil Wing. And Billy, I agree. I reacted poorly. I made a judgment on Enosh. And I think it was more, and I'll be honest with you, I think it was more hearing himself proclaim that he's a leader of the Snyder Cut movement. That's what, after watching the other two videos, when I heard him say that, that's when I reacted poorly. Because after seeing those two things, and now I am sorry again to Enosh for this. I didn't, after watching those two videos, out of context, mind you, out of context, because once I looked and I knew that I should have edited it, and I knew I should have went in and looked at the actual videos that these were being taken from, because and then seeing the third one, I was like, wait, what the fuck, dude? What? And I reacted poorly. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, what up, dude? What's up?
There we go. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right, cool. What's up, dude?
Nothing much. Just, shitting on myself.
Yeah, it was. I was listening to you there for a little bit. But hey, it's like you said. I like that. We talked to Matt a few weeks ago, and that's something that's big, and I find incredibly respectful, is that you guys are able to admit and say you're sorry. You made a mistake. You made a quick judgment.
I did. I made a quick judgment, and I've known Enosh for longer than that.
Right.
For longer than that judgment, than yesterday's judgment. And I should have known, all right, go do your research, Tyler. Right.
Right.
And I did it. And I deleted everything that I said, and I pulled it back, and then I sat here just to help you too, not just to help you, but I watched all 4 hours of that stream, and then I went back this morning to watch the Andy Signor one, but it was gone.
Right.
So I was disappointed that it was gone.
Yeah.
But I watched all 4 hours. I gave you some watch time, right? Right, Enosh? I gave you a lot of watch time on that one. I don't do that for anybody either. I really, besides Lightcast, actually, Lightcast is probably one of the only channels that I still find myself watching full streams. And I don't know why. It just comes on the TV, and then I leave it on. And,
I caught a little bit of it on Twitter yesterday. A little bit of the live that he was doing, that Enosh was doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
that's where you talked about the Fatal J thing, and
right.
I don't know if he had mentioned me, because I know I hope he didn't. I hope I didn't get tied into that. But
no, I didn't hear anything about you.
If I had been Enosh, I would have called me out on it too.
Yeah.
For sure. If I was Enosh, I would have called my ass out too.
Right.
No, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You fucking dumbass.
Yeah. See, I think it's one of those things, like, the fandom is so, walk on eggshells with everything everybody says, I think. And I think it's, and I understand everybody wants things to continue and all that. And it's just I think everybody just needs to take a step back and.
Yeah. So that's the point that I wanted to end with tonight is we need to, the drama stuff. The drama is what I want to end on, and I will end on it. But basically, the next part of this video, this is where I start asking myself these philosophical questions, and I think that is one good thing that came out of this video, in this debate here, is the questions that were posed in my head to myself while watching, because that's what a good video will do. Is you'll be confronted or you'll be challenged with a problem. Right?
Yep.
Maybe it's 1 + 1. And you ask yourself in your head, what is 1 + 1? And you come to the conclusion that it's 2. That is what we call a direct apprehension. So if I were to tell you, Austin, hey, it's raining outside, and you're not going to just take my word for it, right?
Right.
You're going
to look outside.
You're going to pose the question in your own head, is it raining? And you're going to go to the window, you're going to open the curtain, and you're going to see that it's raining, right? And that's the direct apprehension, that you figuring out the answer. Not because I told you, but because you did it yourself, right? That's called direct apprehension, right? So I was posed with the question. I came to my own conclusion, even though it may be different from either of their views. I found something in myself. And I think that's what a good video will do. So we'll watch this last part.
Cool. To do what?
What have you accomplished? To build. What have I accomplished?
What have you accomplished? In my? No, I'm not saying that. I get that. I get that part. You've grown your channel.
My team. I've grown a lot.
I get it. Your team, your channel, your website, you personally, that's successful. Okay, I get it.
And other creators.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great for you. But
that's great for a lot of people, not just me. That's great.
On the flip side of that, on the flip side of that, though, what have you done to influence what you actually say that you're against? Because you can come on here and you can have a calm conversation about what you say that you're actually about. But the reality is when you're making videos, you're putting out entertainment, and you're basically hyping up people and getting people frustrated who are going out into the real world because they're not on a YouTube channel. They're not trying to put out, some fun video or funny video or make light of something. And you're influencing opinions of people, but it's not really accomplishing anything because nobody's going out and actually making any change. I mean, I listen to you. I've listened to Doomcock talk about how, he wants to change, the essence of pop culture, and save pop culture. You talk about saving something. That guy's always touting that he's going to save, pop culture from everybody. And what are you changing?
It's all relative. So, I mean,
you're building your own empire, but what are you changing?
Well, again, world? So it's all relative. So again, what does it change mean to you in reference to the question you're asking me? Like you asked me what I've changed. I can give you instances that you can't argue against, and I would love to hear you argue against them. And I've made a lot of change. So like if I've had one person that has come to me and said that my content has taken them out of depression and saved their life, is that change? Yes or no?
Well, I will say this. There are a lot of things that can bring some.
It's a yes or no question.
It's not a yes or no question.
Yes, it is.
But you didn't come on here. But Jeremy, you didn't come on here and say
you asked what have I done to change.
But you did. But that's not. But I'm asking you, what have you done in your setting out to accomplish whatever you're accomplishing? That's not what you came on here and said that's what your content's about, and that's what you're.
I never. Right. And that's as much as I can watch of it without having to ask Enosh if I can use it. So, unfortunately, yeah. So that is the question. Is Geeks and Gamers likes to say that they've if so he poses the question, if I've helped one person say that they've got been inspired, is that change? Is it? Yes. But if you watch Geeks and Gamers content, it is really aimed toward negativity. So is it inspiring change in the right way? And I think that is what the important question is. And I'm glad Enosh asked it. I'm glad that Enosh did not back down, not even once during the interview.
I'd like to say this. I think part of me agrees. Like, yeah, sure. If I've dealt with depression and all that, yeah, and if it helps, whatever helps and brings you out and brings somebody out of that, phenomenal, great, totally. I'll get behind it. But at the same time, if you're the person that's gonna be, have the attitude of arrogance of like people come to me for that, and that's all that's about, I think it contradicts the whole point.
Yeah. And I would love to talk to Jeremy. I would love to talk to Jeremy about his views and the way he thinks, and why he maybe says what he says, or why basically he's run a very successful brand, and there's clearly people out there that really enjoy his content, right? And same goes for Enosh. And I don't think those are the same people, by the way. I do not think they're the same people that watch. I don't think there's not even one person that watches both of those channels, because they are so far apart in what they do. But again, we can't, like, Enosh can't ask Jeremy to stop doing what he's doing the same way Jeremy wouldn't ask Enosh to stop doing what he's doing. The same way Jack PR wouldn't ask me to stop doing what I'm doing, or me to you saying, Austin, stop doing what you're doing. We need to be able to live in a world where anyone can have their views, and whether you agree with them is awesome, or if you do agree with them, or if you don't, then you just don't watch them. But if you are inspiring hate, there's a weird line. There is, and also
too, and not just inspiring hate. If you're looking for a fight, I think people, like, if somebody doesn't agree with you on some topic or something, like, for me, I don't bring it up.
Yeah,
I don't bring it up if I know it's going to lead into the passions are so high on both sides that it's going to lead into an argument or into whatever childish things that might happen. I just don't bring it up. I choose not, and I'd rather save the friendship than go after some, opinions that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Because that's not healthy either. If I have a bunch of people around me that all say the same thing and agree with me, then I'm not getting anywhere in life, really.
Right. So I think this is it, right? I think the discussion that they had is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see two people who have such varying views, such polar opposites in the way that they perceive the world around them, come together and ask each other the questions that they want to ask, and do that, right?
Yeah.
I do.
I've always said that, like, it would be my dream to interview Donald Trump, or somebody like
that guy would murder a podcast. If that guy had a podcast, oh my God, murder. The ratings would be so good.
I disagree with fundamentally everything that comes out of his mouth.
Of course.
But I want to sit down with him and ask him, why do you think this way? What's your process in thinking this way? Who is it? Seriously, I want to know, and I'm not just being funny, or like, I want to know what makes this person think like this.
Right. Yeah. Man, yeah, like, for instance, Alex Jones, right?
Yeah.
Alex Jones is a really classic example of someone who's deplatformed for his views.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You think he should have been deplatformed?
I think some people,
by every single platform except the internet in general. The internet in general couldn't get rid of him. So InfoWars still exists. Right? Because
I do agree. I mean, the thing, just based on the things that he's kind of done and instigated, he was at the whole Trump insurrection rally the night before, going like, "We're gonna storm this place," and
he's absolutely buffoon.
Yeah, and the way, he's at a restaurant and he sees someone, he's like, "You're a coward, fight me now." It's like, I mean, it's like, yeah, I think he should be deplatformed. I'm sorry. I'm good on him.
Impression, spot on. He totally does that too. He goes to restaurants.
Yeah, he just, in the middle of a restaurant, he just starts chasing them.
And he has his camera out, and he's just like he wants everything to be documented.
Right.
He wants everyone to see that he's like this big tough guy, when in reality he's like a sad man, an alcoholic, and just is out of his mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but then again, right? Like, Joe Rogan has him on the podcast, and every single one of the episodes gets deleted from Spotify.
Oh,
that's controversial. I don't think you should.
See, yeah, I think I think then, people should be able to choose. Look, what they want to listen to or not. If it's whether I think it's crap or not, it's that you should be able to choose. If you want to listen to Alex Jones, do an interview with Joe Rogan, I think that should absolutely be. Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
from the bottom of my heart.
I don't. But I'm not going to tell Spotify don't put it up there because there's other people that want to hear it, and that's fine. I'm not going to.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not some dictator that's going
to. But this is the issue. Not the issue. This is why I want to listen to that podcast.
Right.
Because I know I may not agree with Alex Jones on anything. Yeah. Not a single goddamn thing do I say, yes, Alex, you're right. Right? Those words never come out of my mouth. But I still think that he should be able to say what he thinks.
Yeah.
And I want to hear what he thinks because it helps me remember why I think that I'm not crazy.
Right. right.
It helps remind me that I'm doing all right.
Yeah, that maybe I'm on the right track over here if he's doing that. And you know what? I do get that. I totally understand that. I think for me, I think when it comes to the point of people like Alex Jones and Trump and stuff, where when they're not being interviewed by it, but when they're on their own platform, they're saying things like, we need to, all the Black Lives Matter or Antifa, and we got to get rid of all of them and all this other crazy stuff that's like inciting groups of people that agree with those to actually go out and do things, inciting a kid in Kenosha to go out with a machine gun and act like he's, judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And that's really dangerous. It's like that group, and actually Enosh brings it up. Enosh did bring it up, which I thought was pretty good to say, is that people want to have that group mentality.
Yeah.
Right. And what Geeks and Gamers does is they get that negativity and that hate in people and they get them together. And then
it's true, man.
Things happen that maybe, you regret.
And when you're listening to that stuff, even if you're thinking subconscious, say somebody's listening to them and they don't agree with what they're saying, but they're constant viewers. It's getting in your head. It's kind of like it starts being a part of you, and even if you're trying not to be that way, the negativity all of a sudden starts coming out. So, and it's a tactic. It's a tactic to get that group, to go with that whatever line or whatever story they want to say.
Yeah. But a couple other things. So, and I'm just gonna say it. So Justice is supposed to be here today, and he didn't show up today. So, and this has been happening for a while now. So the future of him on the Pop Culture Corner is in question at this point. So, Austin has been doing a great job. Jack's been doing a great job, and I think Justice will still be around, but maybe in a more limited capacity. I can't. I need to have people around me that like want to be successful. So like I know Jack likes Justice a lot, and we were supposed to do this at like 4:00 today. Supposed to do a stream, and I definitely need to be, like I said, I need to be responsible for. I said this show was going to be at a certain time, and it wasn't. It was 4 hours later, and luckily Austin could help me out here and jump on, but it really makes me disappointed. It really does. It makes me disappointed. But we have so many people in in this world of YouTubing that I think the sky's the limit for sure. And like your buddy Paul, I really enjoyed it when
dude, he's fun. He's got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, I would love to get him on more often. And we're gonna be doing something, this little thing where we all read a comic book the night before, and then in the morning or whatever, we're gonna be like sitting around kind of like this and discussing said comic book. We don't have a name for it yet, but I don't know. We're just gonna start this week, and Paul should be joining us for that. And that's gonna be really fun. I'm really excited. Yeah. Really excited. So
yeah, me too. Me too.
We have a lot going on. We have a lot in the works. Make sure you guys check out that showcase episode, the Mortal Kombat review. Unfortunately, Austin, I know you just showed up, but whoops. But I don't really have too much more to say on it.
Hey, you're good, man. You're good, yeah.
But we will be here tomorrow morning. Oh, and Sam Benjamin is going to join us on Thursday morning for the morning show. We're going to talk about some cool stuff with Sam, things he's doing in his career and things he's done in his career. I'm a huge Peaky Blinders fan, so he was in that.
I just started season 1 in preparation, and I will have it done by Thursday.
Oh, all right.
That is my goal.
Yeah, but Sam Benjamin, I'll be honest with you, I tried to get that done a long time ago.
Right.
That Sam Benjamin interview, I was hoping to be already had done.
Right.
But it didn't work out that way. So unfortunately, but he'll be on this Thursday, and we'll, I hope everyone will join and tune in and have a good conversation with us. It's gonna be really fun. I just like talking to people in general. So timing is whatever. And we have a couple other guests this week, which I can't say yet because I don't know which days or anything. But it's gonna be a good week to be around her. Yep. So Austin, what's been going on, man? What's up for the weekend? Did you watch any of the Oscars?
No, I didn't get to. I've been kind of following on Twitter with the winners and stuff.
Okay.
But I haven't. No, I haven't gotten to watch. I'll be honest with you, man. I think the worst decision they ever made was getting rid of a host.
Yeah. So what the host does is, no matter, even if, like, say Joe Rogan hosted it. I don't know why he's in my head all the time, right? I must be like super attracted to Joe Rogan or something.
It's your obsession, man. You're like
obsessed. Say Joe Rogan was hosting the Oscars.
Right.
I didn't give a shit about the Oscars, and I liked Joe Rogan.
Tune in,
right? So that's what a host does.
The only reason I watched the Golden Globes for 4 years straight was because Ricky Gervais hosted.
Right.
And it was the greatest. To this day, I don't think any host has been as good as him ever.
Yeah, I like this little speech last time.
Oh man, I just love how he calls everybody out. I think it's hilarious. But I think I don't get why they got rid of the Oscar hosts. It's like you said, they kind of keep things moving. Chris Rock, Ellen, all these guys, they were funny, and so I don't get why they scrapped that.
Did you just call Ellen a guy?
No, I said Ellen and Chris Rock.
All these guys, you said.
They were funny. Oh, okay. They were funny. They were funny. Cancel Austin. I'll get behind that hashtag too. Let's do it.
He dead named Ellen. Hashtag cancel Austin. Get him out.
He's done, guys.
Bring back justice.
It's done by 2 weeks.
Here, actually. Hey, Justice, how's it going on, man?
Oh man, dude, Justice. It's been a rough weekend for you, huh?
Yeah. Joe Rogan lives rent-free in Ty's head.
That's true. He does.
Boys, as always, it's been real.
That's right.
Hashtag cancel Austin.
Cancel hashtag. You forgot the hashtag, Jack. Gotta hashtag it.
Gotta hashtag it. Anything else going on that we haven't spoke about?
This I thought was interesting. This will interest you. I almost want to do like a live watch party of this. Elon Musk is gonna host Saturday Night Live.
Oh God, it's gonna be so brutal.
It's gonna be so cringe, but I want to watch it, man.
Yeah,
I want to watch that
because he's so not funny.
Oh, it's gonna be so cringe, dude. I can't wait.
Elon, really? They got. Is that where SNL is these days?
Right, and guess who the musical guest is?
I don't know.
I don't know why it's funny. They're so opposites. You have Elon Musk, and the musical guest is Katy Perry.
Oh God! what a locker room that would be. Katy Perry and Katy. Elon just like, yeah.
Right, yeah. We built a rocket for your performance, but it blew up 5 minutes before. No,
no, I'll watch that. If is anyone familiar with Neuralink in the chat? Because Neuralink's crazy, dude.
Dude, that's gonna be weird. I don't know how I feel about that. Like,
yeah, I watched a whole demonstration on it.
Do you think it's gonna end up being one of those things that it's gonna be like,
it's gonna be
everybody has to get?
Yeah. No.
No.
But
that's what I'm thinking.
It'll be like a cell phone where you're not required to have one.
But it's a hard life without it.
But without it,
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about that.
Wow.
Right? Is it not true?
Yeah. No, you're right. And that's why I guess that's a great way of putting it, because it's like you don't need yourself.
You're not required to have a cell phone at all.
Right.
But most people do.
Yeah.
Most people do.
Wow. That's going to be so crazy. Dude, I swear, if I can cyberpunk myself, I'll do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that I don't mind the altered carbon thing. Like,
yeah, that thing's cool. But the Neuralink, I don't know how I feel about that.
If I'm able to upgrade my body, like, I don't like myself at all. At all. I would upgrade. Sure.
Yeah, dude, let me see the whole menu.
Yeah, I would ditch this thing in a second.
I mean, I definitely cool. I mean, yeah, I would get interesting with it. Yeah, for sure. Have you seen?
I'd be a mix between Joe Rogan and Chris Evans. Right?
That's horrifying.
That'd be
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I mean, I think Neuralink is going to be one of those things. Like, it's going to start off innocent enough.
Yeah.
Like, cell phones are innocent enough when they were invented, and now they rule the world.
Exactly.
So,
and then,
people don't want to admit that we're cyborgs right now.
Oh, dude, iRobot is coming.
We're cyborgs already. Like, we have this has become a part of us.
Did you ever see that movie Ex Machina?
Yeah, of course, I loved it.
That movie changed my life, dude. I saw that like 4 years ago at my friend's studio, just sitting there. And it was late at night, and I was so paranoid afterwards. I was like, I don't even want to leave this building ever right now. I think I'm good here. This is my little seclusion spot, right?
All right. Well, it's 10:53. We have to be up early for the show.
Right.
Guys, we'll be back tomorrow morning, and we'll be talking about some Oscar winners. We'll be talking about some other things, but make sure to tune in to the morning show podcast. By the way, tonight, we're not brought to you by anyone, because I do not want to degrade any one of these sponsors with the conversation that we had. So, just for the record.
We're brought to you by us.
Yeah, we're brought to you by Pop Culture Corner tonight. But tomorrow morning, we'll be back. Austin and I will be here, and we're going to be doing it live at 11 a.m. No, 10:30 a.m. Yes, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share the shows so your friends, family, and even enemies can watch along with you.
That's right.
Guys, ring that notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads, and it'll tell you, hey, these guys uploaded a new thing, or they're going live. And that way you don't even have to remember anything. It's like done for you. That's the great thing about YouTube. But if you want, you can take the show on the go with all the podcast platforms, all major ones, if that. Our show is converted into podcast form at the end of each day. And it's a good way to take the show on the go. And then you don't even have to look at our ugly faces.
You don't got to look at us. That's the best part.
That's the worst part, is looking at us. That's the worst
right.
part.
That's right.
Definitely the Ask Jack.
Ask Jack. I'm the spot.
Looking at us is the worst part about doing this, or at least watching it.
So give us more money on Patreon, guys. We can get faceless. And make it a lot better for you.
If you guys spend more money in the Patreon, we can get Neuralink, and I can upgrade and become Anthony Mackie. Just a thought. Just a thought. All right, guys. As always, we do it for you. And we do it for the culture. What the hell just happened? I don't know, man. What was that? That was so freaky. Austin, any parting words?
good night.
You see, you said it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad, man.
Yeah. Give us more money. We'll get new voices too, and new lines.
No, I like my voice. I like that it's like Rod Stewart.
Right, it is. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that.
I like it. It's like a mix between Zack Snyder and Rod Stewart. Is what I get told.
That is true. Wow.
Yeah,
I agree.
Now you'll never be able to unhear it, my friend. All right, guys. Until next time. This has been the Morning Pod at Night bonus episode, night episode. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So